What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 24th day of July. We've had a wicked day so far as volatility goes, but it was the exact opposite of what I anticipated, right? I mean, we're back around the areas that I would expect we'd be at the end of the day. However, we did start the day off on a bullish note, but not too bullish. We actually started off the day on a bearish note and then came back up afterwards, which I think is a little bit interesting. We are keeping this idea of a shakeout alive. I don't know how likely it is at this point in time, and over the past few days, I really have kind of started to worry about that less and less. I don't believe that we're going to see prices that are below this low, and I think that this in itself, what we experienced already today was a shakeout in itself, right? We've been shaking out to the upside and the downside for the past week now. But I did expect that we would pump first and then come back at the end of the day to close back where we opened, something like that, where today instead what we did was we dumped first, and then now we're back here. We got 10 hours left in this day, 10 hours, 13 minutes left. Looking at the daily RSI, we rejected the overbought zone. I wouldn't mind if we closed a couple days red just to get this RSI down to the 60 or lower, right? Because we went over all those examples yesterday of what happens whenever you reject the overbought zone. Now, just because that happens doesn't mean you have to go lower. Doesn't mean you have to go lower, right? We could turn around from here and just get into the overbought zone. That's a very, very possible outcome right now. But time will tell. Time will definitely tell. Let's look at the short-term stuff and see what we can come up with. I do like the fact that we're finding higher lows. And if we look at this on a 1 hour time frame, it's like you broke out of this area, right? You were holding a support. You had like a triple bottom down here. It's kind of like low, higher, low, higher, low. You broke out of this area with tenacity too, right? You came down with the purpose last night or in the beginning of this day, whatever it is for you. And then you broke out, but it was a fake out. It was a fake out move. Kind of interesting and bullish in my opinion. And the biggest candle out of all of these candles was to the upside, not to the downside. Right? This one candle engulfed 2 hours, almost 3 hours worth of negative price action. And if we're looking at the 1 hour RSI, we do have lower highs in the RSI. And we're actually at an area now where you might expect to reject. But here, right, we found resistance right at the line. Here, we didn't even get to the line. We did a little dance, but we came down. Here, we came up. We found resistance right at the line. Here, we're right at the line now, but we're consolidating. It just seems like different behavior. Similar to this, but not completely the same. I would say that this is more bullishly postured right now because we're not overbought. We're not freshly rejecting the overbought zone. We're not up in this area here, right, where we've been ranging from the oversold to overbought, oversold, overbought, oversold, right? We haven't been overbought in a second. I think we're going to break out of this trend line to the upside. And if anything, I think that we're just finding higher lows, right? And we're probably on our way to the overbought zone, which makes me think, looking at it here, if we take a high to low, and I'm going to take this low, not the fake out low. I'm going to take this low. High to low, we've already interacted with the golden ratio once. We had a fake out. We're consolidating between the 0.5 and the 382. I'm actually very surprised with how we reacted here that we did not break out higher. But this 1 hour rejection, that 1 hour candle there should have been a sign that something's up. We are going lower, at least to the 236, if not lower. And I mean, I'm surprised that you went down this low and didn't persist lower. It's just kind of very surprising price action over the past 12 hours or so. I guess it'd be like 14 hours or so. But I would anticipate that if and when we move up to the golden ratio, we would break through it on this next attempt and probably see prices up at about 119.6 to 119.9 thousand and potentially even beyond. Potentially we break through and we go all the way up to about 121K, 122K, somewhere in this primary target zone. We could do a little fake out the same way that we just did here to the downside, but maybe to the upside where we fake out, we see a slightly higher high. But I would anticipate that we get back toward, if not above, $120,000, probably by the end of today, at least at this rate, because if we move up here and we actually get into the overbought zone, like think about it this way, right? We've been getting overbought, oversold, overbought, oversold, overbought. We did not get oversold twice. We had 2 attempts twice. You moved down with a purpose here twice. And all you did was you found support at prior resistance, at prior support here. you broke out, but you faked out, right? You had every opportunity to go lower, but you didn't take it. Makes me think that we're not only going to, because we didn't get oversold, it makes me think that we're not only going to return to the overbought area, but instead of rejecting it this time, we actually might inject into it. We might get into it. And if we're getting into the overbought zone, we should be breaking out of this overall range. If we're breaking out of this overall range, the minimum target would be $119.6 to $119.9 thousand. Maximum targets could be about 121 to 122K. Something like that. That's just how, or where my head's at right now. That's what I'm seeing. Looking at this on a 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour RSI is, I think, neutral, very neutral, somewhat bullishly postured, right? Same kind of idea, except 40 to the 60, rejecting the 60 down to the 40, rejecting the 60 down to the 40. But this time you rejected the 60 and now you're holding the 50. Might you come back up, and might you even get overbought here? If you get overbought on the 4-hour time frame, I would think not only are you breaking out of this range, but that you're breaking out of this range. If you get overbought on the 4-hour time frame, we're going up higher. And again, where are the targets that would make the most sense to go up higher? We take this high to low, 121 to 122K. Also, on that note, running with other fibs here, if we take this high, the all-time high, to our low that we had on the 15th of July, so just remember the 1272 to 1618. Look at how well it encapsulates this 786 886 zone right here. Okay, just look at how well that's encapsulated. If we're looking at it here, you've interacted with the golden ratio once, twice already. Statistically speaking, if you go to this golden ratio the third time, you should break through it, and where you'll stop likely is the 786 886 area, which just so happens to be within the limits of this primary target zone, the 1272 to the 1618. Now, if you don't get above the 1272, okay, maybe you don't see 121.5, maybe you don't see 122. But a little thing about the 1414 here with the 786 in line, you typically do go just above that. So and with the golden ratio, typically also with Bitcoin, you do go just above that as well. So I think 122.3 to 121.6, that's a very fine area to account for. And we likely do see that range, I would think, either by the end of today or sometime tomorrow. Today's Thursday, right? We still got one day left in the week, in the regular work week. Yeah, between today and tomorrow, man. But time will tell. We'll see how it goes. We have a kind of neutral start to today, right? We're not really positive or negative. I mean, we're technically negative, but we're rather neutral on the day so far. And I feel like the 10th hour... Sorry, I shouldn't say the 10th hour. What hour is it actually right now on UTC? No, not 13th. It would be, so 14th is 8th, 9, 10. So, no. Is it this one? No. It's I'm sorry. I'm getting all twisted here. Normally, it's the 14th hour of the day, UTC throwing me off, that I feel like Bitcoin kind of shifts course, right? Like if we're coming down, then it's on the 14th hour that will start to reverse. If we're coming up, it's on the 14th hour that will start to reverse. But here, we're just neutral, so it's anybody's guess. I'm curious to see what happens. I think that we're going to be moving up higher, but time will tell, probably very, very soon enough. We're almost there at that 14th hour now. We do have higher lows here, but we're taking out a low right now. Anything can happen, you guys, and we'll see. If we do go lower, let's talk about that real quick, okay? If we do go lower, I would assume that we hold support somewhere around $116,000, maybe at this low itself. And if we even go lower than that, 115 to 114K stands to be as support as well. So that's all I got. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.